Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be me reacting to the first video I ever made on this channel, talking about Raid Shadow Legends and if you should play it or not. I thought it'd be fun to kind of take a look at what I was saying back when I had just started playing Raid and see if I agree still or disagree. Just have some kind of fun and laugh at myself here for a little bit. It's a Sunday. Didn't really know what video to make today. I've got a bunch of projects I'm working on, and so I thought this would be a fun one to kind of do. I've been thinking about doing something like this for a while, and now that it's been well over a year since I made this video and was super new to Raid, just wanted to have a fun look back in time and kind of talk about what was going through my head and kind of laugh at this video here. So yeah, let's get into it. Alrighty, let's fire it up here. Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and I used to talk so much deeper. Hey, what's up? This is Chosen. In this video, I'm gonna be doing. I was so tan. Now I have quarantine. I'm out in the sun, 30 minutes a week. Obviously, we're all kind of staying inside now, but look how tan I was back when I used to actually go outside. A review / should you play for the mobile game Raid Shadow Legends. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so right here, I'm just kind of on the main screen for the game. This is kind of what it... So for this video, I was actually recording using my iPad, I think, and then I would mirror the iPad to the computer. And so that's why the aspect ratio and the resolution is all off, and I have all that dead space, that black area on the left side. I didn't really know how to cope with that, and I wasn't good with kind of editing and running OBS and mirroring things. And now I record videos on my PC, but this video was recorded, I'm looking down at like an iPad and then mirroring it to my computer to record. So that's why I'm constantly like looking down while I'm talking. It looks like at your home base or whatever. And I've got a few different criteria that I'm going to review the game for. It's going to be graphics, gameplay, developer support, paywall, value, performance, itemization, and social. So starting at the top with graphics. The graphics in this game are really good. That's true. The game looks and feels how it should. It's got, of course, I picked an option, in here to play at 60 FPS, which is huge. A lot of games perform at 30, so having the option to play at 60 FPS feels really good. And the graphics don't look, weird or wonky or too cartoony. The game looks and feels how it should. So I'm giving the graphics a 10 because they are what they should be. And that's fair. I love the graphics and the way this game looks and feels. Moving on to gameplay, I'll do a battle here, in terms of like farming. This is kind of a battle that you would do, but I'll fix my crew here to get some value. Farming with Galek, here we go. Yeah, as far as gameplay, this game is what it is. It's a hero collector game, so it's not like a StarCraft or something. It looks like stage is loaded way slower back then. It was like coming in. I think they've optimized that since then. Then where it's gonna be, the gameplay is gonna be ridiculously in depth. But I'm gonna give the gameplay 8 out of 10. It is what it is. It feels good to kind of farm in this game and progress. So gameplay gets an 8 out of 10. That's fair. For developer support. I was kind of reading through the versions of the game and seeing how often the developers respond to reviews and how often they kind of update and add things to the game and pay attention. And it seemed pretty good, so I'm going to give developer support an 8. Ooh. Okay, so yeah, see, this is back in the day before there was a Draco Gate and anything. So the developer support seemed pretty good. They were doing good about leaving comments on YouTube videos and responding to people's reviews and stuff. And the subreddit was kind of getting super active, and there was moderators responding on there and stuff. So I think 8 out of 10 was fair. Now I would probably give it like a 6 or a 7. For the paywall in this game, this is going to be the first thing that I rate kind of low. I'm going to give the paywall a 5. And it's because of this mechanic you see up here in the top, kind of left, the energy, this right here. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, the game I don't think provides you with quite enough energy
and energy is expensive to get more, and you know, the paywall ends up coming up just a little bit too often. You know, 5's not a terrible score, but I'm gonna put it kind of right in the middle. This game would be like an 8 or 9 for paywall if it just gave you a little bit more energy, because I do think it does give you enough like arena tokens and currency, and you know, it provides you with the diamond mine. A lot of games, you know, don't give you a mine to generate the in-game currency, but this game does. So there are some things that it does right, but with the energy mechanic being just a little bit too intrusive, I had to give the paywall score a 5.
Oh, that's fair. I think they've addressed this a little bit better since then. There's daily rewards, and the events are a little bit more often and a little bit better. Like daily login rewards, and I think they give stuff to the community more often. And like you can see right now on this video, there's no tournament or anything. There's just like one little event up there. So I think that's less of an issue now, but I think that was a valid criticism back then, even looking back on it.
And then moving into value, this is, you know, when you do spend money, what is the value you're getting for that money you spent? And I'm going to give this a 4. And the main reason I give it a kind of a low score for value is the fact that the premium subscription gives you 0 bonus to the energy mechanic. So like, and the subscription is $10 a month. Like the subscription isn't like $2 or $3 a month. I mean, it's $10. And I think it's a huge black mark that the premium service and premium subscription does not give you any sort of energy or ability to play the game more often than a player who doesn't pay. So that's why the value score is going to be low, but it does give you some good packs and some good kind of bundles that can be, you know, decent to buy. So, you know, actually spending money on like packs and stuff is okay value, but with the premium subscription not giving you any sort of energy bonus, I had to rate it low at a 4.
I think that's fair. I remember being a new player back in this time, and my number one gripe back then was that the premium service doesn't give you more energy. I still kind of agree with that. I think if you buy the raid pass, you should get like an extra energy refill. You know, at least one a week or something, or have energy generate a little bit faster or something. So I think that was fair, and I still kind of agree with that. I think the premium subscription, if you're willing to support the developers on a consistent basis, you should get the ability to play the game more often. I think that's fair.
For performance, I'm going to give the game a 5. I think this is something that will improve over time. The game does play pretty smooth.
The performance was really bad,
kind of in the graphics section, but it crashes just too often. So I had to give the performance a lower score of 5. I would say the game crashes about once an hour, and I've played it on a brand new iPhone, a brand new iPad, 2 different devices. It crashes about equally often on both. Maybe it's an iOS issue, maybe it doesn't happen on other devices with different operating systems, but on 2 different brand new devices, it was crashing about once every 45 minutes or so, which is just too much. And if they get that cleaned up, I would, you know, raise that score to a, you know, 8 or a 9. But the crashes are just too often. Other than that, the game does perform very well. There's not a lot of choppiness or laggy, you know, lag spikes. It's pretty smooth and performs really well. My only issue and why it was rated lower was the crashes that I've experienced.
Yeah, back then, crashing was a massive issue. Raid was, you know, understand, not trying to like trash on them or anything, but they were, it was a much newer game and it had a lot more issues. But yeah, I mean, people were so mad about that you would start a clan boss fight and it would crash and you would just lose your key. And you would start a run and it would crash. You would start an arena battle and it would crash. So you were constantly losing energy, tokens, clan boss keys. And it was a huge issue back then. Now the game is much more stable. Obviously, you know, this was, you know, 14 months ago or whatever. But so they've worked on that pretty well. It does still happen every now and then. But back then it was a massive issue. So honestly, I was pretty generous in that grade. It could have been worse at the time.
Then the last 2 I'm going to do are itemization and social. For itemization, I think the itemization is pretty good. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. you can, you know, put up to 9 different gear slots on your characters, and you kind of slowly build them up over time. There's all sorts of different sets, and you can upgrade them and collect them, and you can sell them for silver if you need it. So that's all pretty good. The reason it's an 8 instead of a 9 or a 10 is because there's really no ability to craft or, you know, combine items to make a better one. Like, I wish there was some sort of mechanic for crafting items, and maybe that'll come some point down the road. This is a fairly new game, so these things could be fluid, but as of now, I had to give it an 8 out of 10.
By the way, like, I don't know if that looks buggy for you as the viewer, but for some reason when I put YouTube into OBS, it's like glitching those numbers like on the total stats. I don't know why, but yeah, I agree with most of what I said there in terms of the itemization. You can see my gear, 1-star common, level 4. So the goal back then when I started this channel was to do reviews for a bunch of different games, and I wasn't gonna be like a full-time Raid Shadow Legends like diving in for that being my main game. I was gonna like play a game for 3 or 4 days, review it, and move on, play a game, review it. And I wanted this channel to kind of be diving into different games and explaining them, reviewing them, and letting you know if you should try it or not, and kind of rating them on different stuff. But then I ended up getting hooked, and here I am making daily Raid Shadow Legends content. So, but that's kind of why I'm reviewing it, just kind of first of all.
The last thing I'm going to rate is the social aspect of the game. It's decent. I gave it a 6 out of 10. There is this chat feature for global where you can kind of talk to different players. You can talk to your clan. So at least there is clan support. Some mobile games don't even.
My message. Can I rewind? I was like talking in global chat.
Where you can kind of talk to different players. You can talk to your clan.
Hey, Chosen, welcome. I must have just joined a clan. I can't beat the clan boss. That's what Chosen says.
So at least there is clan support. Some mobile games don't even have that. But the clan system doesn't seem to be great yet. I mean, I wish there was a little bit more sharing. Like you could trade champions or something. And a little bit more feel of a clan helping each other. Then I would give this game like an 8 or a 9 for social.
That's fair.
But yeah, given kind of what I've experienced so far and kind of messing around with the different social aspects, I gave it a 6 out of 10. So as we collect,
that's a little generous. The social feature could definitely use some work still. We need some sort of like private messaging system in the game, maybe a friends list where you can, you know, gift energy every day or something to your friends, kind of rewards having friends and being active. So the social feature could definitely use some work, but I wasn't too far off base there. I think I was a little bit generous, but yeah.
Collect all the data. Graphics was a 10. Gameplay,
you know me, collecting data and posting numbers right from the first video.
It was an 8. Dev support was an 8. Paywall was a 5. Value was a 4. Performance was a 5. Itemization was an 8. Social was a 6. Gives us an average of 6.75 out of 10. I would say anything over a 6 is something that I would recommend trying out. And anything over like an 8 or a 9 is something that I would say is amazing and you should try it right away. So this game would qualify in the recommend category for me. I would say if you're looking for a game to kind of mess around and try out, Raid Shadow Legends scored a 6.75, so I would recommend it. And you know, if you try it out or have any input, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. This is my first video for my Chofly mobile channel where I'm going to be kind of reviewing and covering and doing tutorials for mobile games that I play. So yeah, this was my first video to kick it off. So if you have any input or anything I can do better, definitely let me know. I would really appreciate that. And as always, have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching.
I had the same intros and same outros, but yeah, so I don't think I did too bad of a job looking back on it, rating it. I think I'd give the graphics a 10 still, even in hindsight. Gameplay would maybe be a 7 or an 8. Dev support would be a 5 or a 6. I think Plarium's trying as of recently. They've gotten a little bit better. The Paywall, gosh, would be like a 4. Raid can get pretty expensive, as we all know. Value, again, would probably be a 3 or a 4. The game is pretty expensive. It can be pretty tough to get good champions you're excited about and have enough energy to do what you need to do. Performance would be a lot better now. It would probably be like an 8. So performance would definitely be better. They've fixed most of those issues. Itemization in Raid is pretty decent. I think an 8 is still fair. Social would that was probably a little bit generous. That should probably be a 4 or a 5, and the overall would probably be about the same, somewhere around 6 or 7. So yeah, even in hindsight, not too bad. I think that was fairly accurate for the time I did this video, and it has stayed mostly the same. But you know, obviously a few things I would do differently with hindsight. But yeah, it was kind of fun to just take a look back in time and kind of see the very first video I was doing, and you can see the backdrop. I didn't have a green screen yet or anything. I was actually renting a room from a friend of mine here in the city I live in. So I'm like upstairs in a room. Now I live in an apartment by myself, but back then I was renting a room, no green screen or anything. And my setup was pretty much the same. The monitors and the mic and the same computer and everything, with just a few updates here and there. But yeah, guys, that's about it. I just wanted to go back and kind of take a fun little look at the first video I ever made, talking about Raid, and the first video on this channel, and kind of see what's changed and kind of react to it. So it's the first video I've done like this. So definitely let me know down in the comments if this content is something you enjoy or not, and if so, I might do one, you know, here and there every month or two. If not, I just I'll stick to the normal, you know, gaming tutorials and stuff. So I always appreciate your guys' input. And yeah, hope you're staying safe out there. And as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.